Good evening, Warriors, and welcome back to another edition of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report, the show that celebrates our athletes, our schools, and our entire community. This isn't just a sports show, this is a community project built by the people of Grass Lake for the people of Grass Lake. And before we dive in, let's just give that reminder we share every single week. This show depends on you. We need your pictures. We need your videos, your stats, your standings, your schedules, your game summaries, and your stories. Got an upcoming event or highlight we're sharing? Send it all in to glsportsweeklyreport at gmail.com so we can make sure the whole community gets to see and celebrate it. The more you share, the more complete this channel becomes and the stronger our warrior pride shines. Now, let's talk about this past week, because if there was ever a week that showed what Grass Lake is all about, it is homecoming week. The energy was electric from start to finish. Our schools were buzzing with decorations and spirit days. The pep rallies brought out warrior pride like never before. And the parade rolled through town with that small town charm and big time spirit that makes Grass Lake so special. The stands were packed, the community turned out in full force, and the night under the Friday lights was filled with that unmistakable feeling that this is bigger than a game. It was about seeing alumni back on campus, families sitting shoulder to shoulder, little kids running around with painted faces and big smiles, and the kind of unity you can only find in a place like this. Once you're a warrior, you're always a warrior, and homecoming reminded us of that in every way. That's what we're here to capture. Not just the scores, but the moments that matter. And in today's episode, we're going to bring you all the highlights, the celebrations, the big plays, and the lasting memories from this incredible homecoming week in Grass Lake. So, sit back, turn up the volume, and let's dive in, because it's time for the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report Homecoming Edition. And here we go. In cross-country news, this last week, our runners traveled to Manchester for the Cascades East Jamboree. In the women's high school 5,000 meter varsity division, the Lady Grass Lake Warriors finished in second place behind Leslie. Adeline Jarko led the Warriors with a time of 22:1:90 for a third place finish. Junior Mackenzie Hilbear with a season best for her, 24:32:48. Also, sophomore Ava Cruz with a season best for herself at 24, 40, and 30. And sophomore Ava Renfro with a season best of 26, 31, and 27. In the men's varsity 5,000 meter division, the boys came up in third place behind Leslie and Napoleon. Senior Connor Sherwood led the Warriors with a time of 18, 39, and 90, followed by Connor Boatler, Grady McDaniel, Luke Blaze, Zach Buchigig, Richard Trudeau, and freshman Andrew Kumar with a personal best 32, 13, and 36. In the women's middle school division, the Warriors finished in fourth place behind Leslie, Manchester, and Napoleon. Jillian Sherwood led that middle school group, coming in at ninth place with a time of 15, 54, and 6. In the men's middle school 2 mile, those boys there took home first place ahead of Manchester, Leslie, Napoleon, and Michigan Center. Those first place boys were led by Lewis Hilbear with a time of 13, 36, and 57, followed closely in fifth place by Mason Basham with a time of 13, 42, and 65. Lots of boys on this cross-country team. As you see, personal best, 8th grader Joey Kempker with a time of 20, 15, and 19. Season best by Jack Hinkle with 20, 39, and 92. Also, a season best by Marshall Waynick, 21, 9, and 14. And 7th grader Rowan O'Connor with a season best, 22, 52, and 60. And a personal best for Adam Figge, 31, 38, and 84. Our varsity teams will be traveling to Napoleon on Tuesday, September 23rd, to compete against Napoleon, Addison, and Columbia Central. And then on Saturday, September 27th, they will be heading out to Stockbridge for the Stockbridge Invitational at Saturday morning, September 27th. And our middle schoolers will also be out at Napoleon with Columbia Central on Tuesday, the 23rd. So looks like all the runners will be out there in Napoleon on Tuesday night. As we move to high school soccer, the JV and varsity both traveled to Columbia Central on Monday night, September 15th. The varsity with a big conference matchup. The JV team led things off that evening, setting the tone with a 2-1 victory over Columbia Central. Andre Cinca with both GL goals in that win. The varsity boys then went on to compete against a very talented Columbia Central team and unfortunately ended up on the wrong side of the scoreboard in this one, losing 6-0. Wednesday night at Stoker Field, the soccer team celebrated their seniors for senior night against Michigan Center. The Warriors battled against the Cardinals, but ultimately fell short in that game, 0-1. Both the JV and the varsity boys competed Saturday morning against Western Panthers at Howard Stoker Field. The JV team battled and ultimately fell short 0-1. In the varsity game, the Grass Lake Warriors had the lead late until Western scored with about 48 seconds to go in the contest to tie it up. Rogan Sallow with the lone goal for GL. This last week of competition brings the Grass Lake Warriors overall record to 9-6-1 and 5-3 in the conference. They'll have 3 matches this week. One on Monday night at Manchester. One on Wednesday night at Jonesville. And then Saturday morning against Eaton Rapids at Stoker Field in Grass Lake. In AYSO youth soccer action, the co-ed 15U core team traveled down to Coldwater Saturday morning to take on their 15UB team. The team played probably their best game of the season, but unfortunately came away with a loss, losing 5-6. Uh, First time goals from both Wyatt Charles and June Goebel. The team will be back at home this Saturday, 1:30 p.m. against Coldwater 15UC team. On the volleyball court this week, our varsity team traveled to Homer to take on the Trojans. They lost the first two sets, 20-25, 25-27, but rallied back for the reverse sweep, 25-22, 25-17, and 15-13. Player of the match was Reese Lape with 15 kills, 15 digs. She went 9 for 9 on the serving line with 2 aces and 8 points. So with that win, that brings the varsity girls to a season record of 5 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties. They will be back in action this coming week. Looks like Tuesday night at Columbia Central High School. The JV team also competed and beat the Trojans in all 3 sets, 25-8, 25-17, and 15-9. This was a team effort with each team member contributing to the success. Some highlights of the night were from Layla Vandermeer, who served 13 of 15 with 4 aces, as well as 3 kills, and Taylor Dick, who served 7 of 8 with 4 aces, as well as having 6 kills. The 8th grade volleyball team traveled to Hanover Horton last week and won 2 of 3 sets, 25-20, 14-25, and 15-12. They had an exciting first set with 35 3 contacts. The second set went slower with 16 3 contacts. The third set was extra intense with 19 3 contacts. These girls did not let a ball drop. Chloe Gilbert and Bailey Williams were perfect from the serving line, going 10 of 10. Avery Bomer went 11 of 12, and Brooklyn Lawrence went 8 of 9. The girls then hosted Jonesville and lost a tough match, 22-25, 25-22, and 10-15. JJ Dozer was fire at the net with several kills, tips, and a block. Chloe Gilbert went 6 for 6 from the serve line, followed by Bailey Williams, who went 11 for 12. Their next game will be at Napoleon on Monday night. Grass Lake Equestrian team participated in the third and final district meet last Sunday, September 14th. Their season has ended placing third overall against Manchester, Saline, Napoleon, Ida, and Onstead. Junior and captain of the team, Brandon Corneliuson, placed third in saddle seat showmanship and 7th in hunt seat showmanship. She also played 6th in hunt seat equitation. Junior and co-captain of the team, Ava Renbeck, placed 2nd in western and hunt seat showmanship. Ava also placed 4th in hunt seat showmanship. Kennedy Collins placed 1st in saddle seat pattern. She placed 3rd in saddle seat equitation, saddle seat bareback, equitation over fences, and flag race. She also placed 4th in cloverleaf. Addison Allen placed 5th in the timed event. She also placed 6th in two-man with her partner, Ava Renbeck. Bela Nolan Hitchcock placed 5th in equitation over fences, hunt seat equitation, and ranch riding. Bella and her partner Kennedy placed 3rd in the two-person relay. Brendan Love Evans placed 5th in flag race. He has made great gains this season and in his riding ability. The coaches are proud of this team's effort and determination this season. The equestrian team's next event will be a regional meet at Ingham County Fairgrounds on Friday, September 26th. In the world of golf for our varsity girls, I don't have a lot of information on that. If you're out there and you have any contacts, you are out watching the golf or getting the golf scores, please have them communicate that to me at glsportsweeklyreport at gmail.com. What I do know is that they competed twice last week, once at the Jackson Area Invitational and finished in ninth place with a score of 502, and also at the Addison Jamboree, finishing in fourth place with a score of 215. Once again, I don't have any individual scores on those, but if you are out there and you've got those scores available, send them to me. Let me know. As far as next week goes, it looks like those girls are competing at Hills Heart of the Lakes out in Brooklyn. The Grass Lake Invite with Columbia Central, Lumen Christi, and Western. So that looks like their next event on the 25th, which is Thursday. So those girls will be knocking them around out there on the course. Hills, Heart of the Lake, Thursday. In football action, our varsity boys played at home for homecoming at Joe Betchel Friday night under the lights against a tough Leslie Blackhawks team. The Warriors were looking for their first victory of the season. Special day leading up to this for homecoming week. The boys were hyped and hungry, ready for a win. Unfortunately, the boys gave up a few too many points too early in the game, got behind a little bit too much. The boys were able to get on the scoreboard late in the second quarter. Touchdown pass from Kayline Westcott to Will Ford, and the 2-point conversion was good. The defense held tough in the third quarter, not giving up any points, and the Grass Lake Warrior boys were able to strike at the beginning of the fourth quarter on a touchdown pass from Kayline Westcott to Cam Prater to make it 14-40. The Warrior defense continued to play tough and struck again on offense on a touchdown run from Cam Prater, and the 2-point conversion was good. Unfortunately, like I said, the boys gave up too many points too early and were unable to score a significant amount of points in the second half to complete the rally. Not 100% sure what's happening this week, as East Jackson was on the schedule for Friday night. Their program, I don't believe, is active at the moment. So not sure if there's going to be a game or scrimmage or what the plan is for that, but I'm sure we will all be made aware. At the JV level, last Monday night, the boys hosted Columbia Central Golden Eagles. Joe Betchel. From my understanding, the JV boys came home with another victory, which brings their record to 4-0 on the season, I believe. I do not have any score or game summary for that game. So keep that in mind next week. If you're out there listening, if you're a player, a parent, a coach, administrator, and you've got information on the JV football game, shoot it my way. GL Sports Weekly Report at gmail.com. Those JV boys will be traveling to Leslie Monday night for a competition against the Leslie Blackhawks. 6 p.m. game time. At the middle school level, the boys traveled to Hanover Horton last Thursday, where they actually were able to run a split squad, 7th grade and 8th grade. The 7th grade did what they can with a minimal amount of players. Came up just a little bit short, from my understanding, against Hanover. And the 8th grade team was unable to hang with the Hanover Horton 8th grade team as well. But they will be back in action coming up this Thursday at home against Homer, 4:30 start time. Our youth tackle teams both traveled to Hanover Horton on Sunday morning. Grass Lake 1 and Grass Lake 2. I do not know how Grass Lake 1 fared, but Grass Lake 2 played tough defense the entire game. Wasn't able to get the offense going, only gave up one big touchdown play and a safety, and ended up losing to the Western Panthers 8-0. Next Sunday, both teams will travel to Homer. Grass Lake 2 will play at 1 o'clock against Michigan Center, and Grass Lake 1 will play at 2:30 against Western 1. Don't forget to check out GrassLakeWarriors.com, the official site for your Warrior athletics for middle school and high school athletic programs, sports. You can come here, get your news, get your schedule, um, check out some rosters if you need to. Anything that the coaches fill in here, you can find it right here. But on tap for this week, Monday night, girls 8th grade volleyball will travel to Napoleon, 4:30 start time. Also, Monday night, the boys varsity soccer travels to Manchester, 5:30 start time. Boys JV football will travel to Leslie, 6 o'clock game time. Then on Tuesday, girls and boys varsity cross country. I believe that is in Napoleon, is what I was seeing earlier. Yes, Napoleon with Columbia Central. I know, I believe the middle school is there as well. And then on Wednesday, girls 8th grade, 7th grade volleyball at home against Addison, 4:30 start time. Boys varsity going on the road to Jonesville Wednesday, 5:30 start time. Thursday night, middle school football, 7th and 8th grade at home at Stoker Field, 4:30 start time. Thursday night volleyball, the girls will be going to Manchester, 5 o'clock start time. And then you have Friday morning, the equestrian team or individuals. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest with you, but they are scheduled to be in Ingham County Fairgrounds Friday morning. And then, as I had mentioned, the East Jackson game Friday night in East Jackson. I'm not sure what's going down with that. Um, I'm sure news will come out shortly in regards to that. And then Saturday morning, cross country will travel to Stockbridge for the Stockbridge Invite. Boys and girls cross country. Soccer Saturday at Stoker Field, both JV and varsity against Eaton Rapids. So that's your week for your middle school and varsity sports for your Grass Lake Warriors. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. What a week it has been. Homecoming is always such a special time in Grass Lake. The games, the parade, the school spirit, and most of all, the way our entire community comes together to celebrate our young warriors. From pre-K and youth leagues all the way up to our varsity athletes playing under the Friday night lights, every single player, coach, parent, and fan had a part in making this week unforgettable. What really makes this show work is you. This is a community-driven channel, but on the energy, passion, and involvement of everyone here in Grass Lake. Each week, we get to highlight the hard work, dedication, and achievements of our young athletes because you take the time to send me those pictures, those videos, those stats and scores, and those amazing stories. So keep them coming. I want to hear about every game, every practice, every milestone, every story that makes Grass Lake Sports unique. Send them to glsportsweeklyreport@gmail.com so we can keep shining the spotlight on all of our Warriors. I also want to give a big thank you to our coaches, volunteers, and families. None of this would happen without your time, your energy, your commitment to giving our kids these opportunities. Week after week, you're the heartbeat of Warrior Athletics, and it shows in the pride that our athletes play with. And of course, to our fans. Whether you're cheering from the stands, following along at home, or tuning in right here every week, you are a part of this family. The encouragement you give, the way you show up, the way you rally behind these kids, it matters. It builds confidence, it creates memories, and it reminds these young athletes that they're part of something bigger than themselves. So, as we wrap up homecoming week, let's carry this same excitement and Warrior pride into the rest of the season. Every week brings new stories, new highlights, and new reasons to celebrate the incredible youth in this community, and we'll be right here to cover it all. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of the Grass Lake Sports Weekly Report. And until next time, God bless our kids, God bless our community, and go Warriors!